Everybody, welcome back to the channel and my fun. So I think I've got my video set up better now. So that's what I'm doing today. It's not so much racing as it is just to do a couple of tests to see how well my setup now works. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I uploaded a video that I had made on Sunday where I had used my cell phone camera and then the microphone as an input, and then saved some replays, and re-recorded the replays, and then it was a mess. I tried to mesh them all together, and I ended up with some pretty gnarly audio-video sync issues. And if you saw the video, all 5 of you or whatever, then you probably noticed what I'm talking about. But I think I've got it fixed. So I think I found the settings for everything to work off of my Canon as far as a webcam, with the delay and the microphone offset, a render delay on the game to give myself a buffer so the webcam wasn't lagging behind. I think I have that set. And then I also set up my little button box over here so I can actually change my my view and mute myself as I'm going. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to hit the race button so we can go into the race view. We're just going to go do 2 or 3 laps, and then I'm going to end it, save the replay, and see how it looks. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to minimize Streamlabs so I can see where I'm going. Not looking for record times. This is just going to be a couple of slow laps. I did manage a fast lap the other day of 1:49 and change, but I've since learned some other things, and I think I just need to practice those other things, but I'm not going to bother getting into that until, see, like I shouldn't be in 6th, I should be in 5th. I'm not paying attention at all because I'm just doing this as a test. It is also 11:30 at night. But I'm just kind of doing this as a test just for gameplay sake. So we're just going to do a couple of laps just to see what it looks like. I think everything's good. And that's part of the reason I'm still talking instead of just running the laps, is I'm trying to get an idea to make sure that everything is still in sync. Alright, so that aside, just kind of cruise down the back. One of the things you may notice, if you can see the FPS counter, and I can't remember if you can or not, so I will open that in a second. Look, as I just kind of coast around here. I don't believe you can, actually. I think I have it too high on the screen, and I think my relative overlay is in the way. But we're going to pretend that you can see it, and if you could see it, you would see that it is locked to 75 FPS. I've turned the game settings down to 75 and capped it at 75, strictly to ease the burden on the CPU and the GPU in order to record while I'm playing. And so far it seems to work pretty well. I did also have to change the encoder settings in Streamlabs OBS to more of a hardware-based encoder instead of X264. I was watching my CPU usage using Task Manager, and I was just maxed. So I went back to NVMC, or whatever it's called, NVINC, whatever it is, the encoder version. I went back to that. And then with the dialing the resolution down a notch, not the resolution, the FPS down to 75 and capping it, it seems to have done better as far as the smoothness of the video. The tests I were doing the other day, that's part of the reason I recorded the video the way I did, was because my gameplay wouldn't record without chopping. So that's why I recorded me on my phone, and I didn't record the live race, I just recorded the replay. reason I did that was because the gameplay itself was unwatchable. So now I think I've got it set. I think I've got the delays worked out. And now the only thing I should have to do, if I wanted to, would be to save the replay to add a TV cam inlay or whatever, like other people do. And I'm going to try that if I remember to actually save the replay before I get out of the car this time. I keep forgetting to do that. I will say this track does have one thing going for it, and that is you do have to get some laps in and get some heat in your tires for a while before your times start coming down. That's what makes it more impressive to me when I was watching the qualifying and people were still running like the times they were running, because I just couldn't fathom it. I mean, my fastest lap was a 149, and that was probably like 15 laps in. Like, how are people running off a 146 on, you know, their first qualifying lap? Like, how did you pull this miracle off? And I don't get it. But we're just gonna finish this lap, then we're gonna pull over, call it good, and hopefully this test, which should be a lot shorter than the Daytona test was before, with actual people. Hopefully this looks a lot better as far as the streaming quality goes and the recording quality goes and the upload to YouTube quality goes. And we'll see from there. So we're going to finish this lap. It'll probably be about the same, about a 152 by the feel of it. And then we'll stop and call it good. So we need a handbrake so I can go swinging down the front stretch backwards. 142.4 or 52.4, yeah, it's about right. So alright, so we're just gonna pull over here, just like so. Back to me. So, hey, I said back to me. It hates me. Anyway, button boxes, I tell you. So anyway, that's it for that. We're gonna go ahead and get out of the car and save the replay, like a normal person would. Just like that. Alright, so, well, that was my new test after my debacle that was Daytona in my first race. Hopefully it come out a little bit better this time. But if you have any tips or hints or things like that, then feel free to leave it in the comments below. Just to give you an idea of what I'm working with, I've got good upload and download speed as far as the internet goes. My laptop, though, is a GS66 from MSI running a i7-10850H processor, if memory serves, and a 2070 Max-Q video card. Not ideal, but you can see that it does actually work for me, but it may be a limiting factor in my recording abilities. My Canon is only recording at 720p, so it's not the greatest for that either. But I'm making do with the best I've got at the moment until I can, you know, pay off some bills and like this whole setup, and then buy some more. But if you have any tips as far as settings, streamer settings, encoder settings, output, resolution, whatnot, for good recording quality, then by all means let me know, because I'm constantly reading and trying to make it look at least a little better. Hopefully the other thing that happened is this light behind me hopefully is not nearly as blown out and saturated in this video as it was the Daytona one off of my phone. You can thank Samsung for that, for getting pretty creative with their saturation in their video. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and I guess we'll see what happens next time.